Good morning. This is Dr. Holm Schneider at the Ozark Chiropractic Clinic, and I'll welcome you to our video this week. We're going to switch tracks this time. We're going to talk about foot problems and stuff, because that's something we see a lot of, is people having pain in the feet, the heels, the ankles, the arches, whatever. That's something that a lot of patients don't realize, is that we treat extremity problems. And when I say extremity problems, I'm talking about shoulder problems, elbow, wrist, hand, knees, hips, ankles, feet. I came to hundreds of hours of seminars and classes and treating these issues, so that's something we can always help with. But today we're talking about feet, because what happens in your feet can affect the spine, the hips, the knees, the back, everything else, just like what happens in the back and the neck can affect everything down low. Your body is a kinetic chain. It's connected and everything works together. So when one effect happens here, it can affect other things. But today we're going to talk about foot pain. And what happens is that, think about it. You're on your feet all day long. You're constantly pounding, you're walking, you're running, you're doing activities. So there's a lot of stress that goes on over time. And that's what we're going to talk about. And I got a couple little props here with me. You know, most tissues within the body, they have elastic properties, meaning they stretch, they come back, kind of like our rubber band. So think of that. That's what we're looking at, elastic properties. So that's what happens with normal tissues, they stretch. Now, over time, what happens, especially within the feet, that a lot of those tissues become stretched, deformed. We call it plastic deformation, and they become stretched and worn out. So what happens with those is that when they stretch now, they stretch, but they don't come back. Okay, so they're permanently deformed, and over time, this is what leads to problems down the road. So what happens is the arch of the foot is shaped like this, and over time, those tissues become deformed, so it starts to flatten out. So that's where you get flat feet, okay? Another thing that happens is your ankle will start to roll in too. So it sort of rolls in. Have you ever noticed, look at your shoes. The outside of the heel on the back side, if it wears a lot on that side, that's usually a sign that your ankle is rolling in, or what we call pronation. And that happens a lot of times due to an arch going down on us. And so that arch flattens out. It's plastic deformation, we call that. And what's unfortunate is once those tissues reach that point, they're not going to come back. So that foot's going to be that way. So that's where you need to support it. That's why we have what we use, orthotics. This is just an example of an orthotic. There's all different types out there, but the ones we use here, we cast them and they're made for your specific foot to help correct the arches within your foot. You have multiple arches. You have the side arch that goes along the side of the foot that we know. There's also an arch that goes across the toes. And there's an arch that goes across the top of the arch too. So there's 3 arches. And that's designed to help control those, have those work better, tongue-tied. And it's like, also we'll have sometimes some support built up to support the heel. So those are important things. Also, it's very important that you adjust the ankle, get normal mechanics back in that, have proper shoes that fit you, and they're the right for your foot too. Taping can be done well. A couple things you can do for foot pain at home. We've all heard the term plantar fasciitis, okay? What happens is that's where, again, the arch collapses, the tissue gets stretched below, it's that plastic deformation, it doesn't come back, but it's very painful. Okay, and so by the time you see a heel spur that appears on x-ray, that tells us that that fasciitis has been going on a long time. And through the healing process, your body tries to heal, it dumps calcium into the injured tissues, and that's where the spur forms. So if you have a spur, that means you've had the problem a long time. So what we can do, though, in the meantime, is for people with foot pain, I like to have, when you get up in the morning, take your foot, bring your toes, stretch them backwards up. So you're stretching the bottom of that foot. Stretch it, hold it nice, and get it limbered up. Also, you can do an exercise at the end of the day, is sit in a chair, put a tennis ball on the ground, and roll your foot on top of the ball. Helps break up adhesions. A lot of pain, you can put an ice pack and put your foot on top of there and sort of roll it around. Those are some things you can try at home. And then icing, and then of course adjusting. We want to make sure that that's working well there. So that's the whole idea of what's happening in those joints when we're talking about foot pain. And it's something that, you know, obviously you need to take care of your feet, because years and years of wear and tear, and you've got more ahead of you, you need to be able to get around, and it makes life miserable without it. So remember, if there's issues with that, talk to us. We're here to help you in any way we can. We just don't treat backs, we treat all sorts of things. We treat the whole body, because our goal is to help improve your quality of life so that you can stay active with your sports, your things with your kids, your job, whatever it is that's important to you, because that's what it's about. Helping you get what's important to you. So I thank you for your time today. I appreciate you. Check out our website, ozarkchiropractic.com. If you have questions, call us, 479-667-5053. We're glad to help you. Check out our posts on Facebook. And until next time, I want to thank you and wish you guys a great day.